Steve Clarke has announced his Scottish national team for the fixtures of Cyprus in the Euro qualifying and, of course, the game against England, which is the 150th anniversary. So let's not waste any more time and let's dive straight into this. So we've got our three goalkeepers. We have got Sander Clark, Angus Gunn, and Liam Kelly. This has not changed since the last squad. I'm not really surprised at these three, and I think it's going to be Angus Gunn that will start both games. Now, to be honest, you look at it, and the games that Angus Gunn's played so far, I'm pretty sure he's not even conceded a goal. Am I right to think we've not conceded a goal in this group? Or am I wrong? Beat Spain 2-0. I can't even remember. I don't think we have conceded a goal. Point is, even if we have conceded a goal, he's not really had much to do. But he's obviously going to continue to start. As for Clark and Kelly, they're never really going to get a game. Like the game against England, it's a friendly, but I guess it's against England, so it's never going to be viewed as a friendly. So it's not like one of these two are going to come in either. Moving in to the defensive positions, we've got Jack Hendry in there, of course, playing his football for Steven Gerrard's Al Ettifeag as well. We've got Aaron Hickey in there, of course, for Brentford. So there is that. Aaron Hickey, quality player. We've got Scott McKenna. I think he really impressed quite a lot of people last season with his defending for Nottingham Forest. With Nathan Patterson, who's been getting bad-mouthed quite a lot. If I'm being honest, he's been bad-mouthed quite a lot. Like if you see like Everton games, right, and then like you check like Everton on Twitter, a lot of people's burying Patterson. Now I think it's just a case that Everton as a team are fucking abysmal. They are, and you know what? Quick investment tip: anyone that's playing Everton, you bet the money on them. I mean, it's 3 L's on the bounce now. Lost to Villa, lost to Wolves there, and I can't even remember who they lost to the first week. Was it Fulham? Might have been Fulham, but they lost then. But we can't all just blame it on Nathan Patterson. Up next, we've got Ryan Porteous. Enjoyed a pretty strong half of the season at Watford after signing from Hibs. Then we've got, Andy Robertson, John Souttar, and Kieran Tierney to round out the defence. Those three, along with Hickey, are I think those four are the step above the rest. The problem is, 3 of them are left backs, and that is the problem here. But you know what? Hendry, Hickey, McKenna, Patterson, Porteous, Robertson, Souttar, Tierney. That's as strong as the centre backs can get. And obviously, Hanley's not in there. I do not know if Hanley's not injured, if he's injured or not. But for me, I think we need to be looking at, but Hanley's I'm pretty sure Hanley's only like 30, and it seems like he's been around since the dawn of time. Really does. But moving into the midfield is where things get a bit interesting, because newly called up to the team, we have got Elliot Anderson. And this guy, I remember signing this guy for Newcastle on Football Manager a couple of seasons ago. What a guy he was. Now, he's not going to replicate himself here, but he's had a strong start to the season with Newcastle, and hopefully he can be a wonder kid for us, because I think that's what we lack. Like, going forward, we lack, like a world-class player. Like, with a bunch of great players, right? And I know some people maybe some people will say John McGinn's world class. He is a step below world class. Let's be real. I mean, if we're talking about world class players in the Scotland team, you think of Andy Robertson before anyone else. Even though I prefer Tierney, of course, Tierney's joined Real Sociedad, and the debate will always be out there. I think the fact though that Robertson and Tierney played for Liverpool and Arsenal, to the biggest clubs in England, to the biggest clubs in the world. And, with the Premier League at the peak of its powers, I think those two are the go-to names. But, going into the rest of the midfielders, Anderson, we've got Stuart Armstrong as well in there. Stuart Armstrong, he always gets picked. And, I think he's just one of those players I would like to see, at the squad personally. With Lewis Ferguson, scored recently against Juventus. Brilliant. I would like to see him getting some proper game time now for Scotland. Billy Gilmore, of course, with McAllister and Caicedo leaving Brighton, he's come into the squad a lot more, and I think he started every game this season for Brighton. Ryan Jacks had a pretty good start to the season for Rangers. John McGinn, doing what John McGinn does, another great start to the season for him. Now, Callum McGregor has had an absolute shite start to his season, and that's not just you're just saying that because you're a Rangers fan. No, yeah, it's the fucking truth. And I tell you what, this must be the first time in a while that there is more Rangers players in the Scotland squad than Celtic, and it's only 2-1. But that's mental to think that. That is mental to think that. But Callum McGregor for me cannot start for Scotland. It has got to be some other form of players in there, like a McGinn, Gilmore, Ferguson midfield, or if you want to throw McTominay in for Ferguson, even though I'd rather start Ferguson for me, I'd like to see him actually start a game. And then of course we've got Kenny McLean. I've been burying McLean. I'm like, this guy needs it to set up, but he scored that goal against Norway. We did concede actually. We did concede Norway 2-1, but that goal he scored against Norway, absolutely phenomenal. And then we've got Scott McTominay in there, linked with a massive move to Bayern Munich. I think that move would suit him because I think he would get more of a license to go forward in United. He is more of like a 6 or an 8 where he kind of has to do both jobs, but he can't defend, and we utilise him perfectly. We play him in a role where he's allowed to get forward, and that's why he picks up the goals. Shea Adams, of course, linked to a move to the Premier League. He's obviously going to be in there. Christie in there. Dykes in there. Nisbet in there. I don't know how Nisbet started the season, but if I was to say it, the 5 strikers who's had the best start of the season, I'd go with Shankland. Well, I'll say the 5 attackers, sorry. I would definitely, guys, go with Lawrence Shankland. But that is it here on Fog Football. Leave your thoughts down below about what the team that Steve Clark's picked. Is there any glaring admissions for this squad? I can't think of any off the top of my head, but I'm sure people will remind me. Until then, peace.